tell them where that hit. Last Minute Man, and we are back here today on the range. I'm with my good buddy, Mr. Obvious. And Mr. Obvious, what are we talking about today?
Oh, the beautiful Savage Model 10 FCP-K chambered in a 308.
So this is a police model, correct?
Yes.
So this was set up, I guess, a no frills for law enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, for long range shooting or sniper action or whatever. But this is a fluted barrel. You got you a nice compensator on the end. And this is just a sweet, sweet looking piece. So tell us a little bit about it. What made you get it?
I wanted something I could shoot long range with, and I figured this was probably about the best thing I could come up with. I did have an issue with it when I first purchased it. Took it out, zeroed it in. It wasn't shooting very good groups. And it was shooting about 1.5 inch, 2 inch groups, and I'd switch to a different brand of ammo and it'd shoot 2 foot to the left. Well, I called Savage, told Savage what it was doing. They said, box it up. I have FedEx there tomorrow. Darned if they didn't. FedEx was at my front door. They went back and it had a burr in the barrel. They rebarreled it and it come back, and boy, she was shooting good when it come back.
Well,
so
we're
done
gonna
an awesome job.
We're going to put it to the test today at 400. We have shown this rifle in the past when we were doing a caliber comparison. But we're going to take this thing out, shoot it at 400. I'm going to have you shoot it at 100 just so we can get a baseline. And then we'll go, because we do have a lot of wind blowing out here today, folks. Yeah, we're on top of a ridge out here.
We got every bit of 20-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Yeah, so. But we'll see how she does. We always have an excuse, and that's why it's Last Minute Man. But we'll get out here and shoot, and y'all just stick with us. All right, so it's nice and breezy and windy now, but Mr. Obvious is going to be shooting 100 yards with his hand loads of 168 grain boat tail hollow point Sierra Match Kings. And let's get out here and get her done, Mr. Obvious. All right. All right. And again, wouldn't be a Last Minute Man video without an excuse. I'm looking at these trees blowing here. All right, let's get down there and look at it, Mr. Obvious. All right, Mr. Obvious. So let's look at this target and tell us what you did here.
All right, we're zeroing the scope in to go out to 400. So our first shot was low. I dialed it up 3 clicks and it was a little too much. So I went back to just 1 click high. And so we're hitting here at the edge. So I moved it over 1 click. So we should be good without having to fire anymore. So.
All right.
So
well, and we've got the bullet drop compensator on the scope itself. So we'll be using that.
Yeah.
And going out there at 400, let's see how she does.
Sounds good. All right, Last Minute Man has got 3 of them loaded up. He's going to 400 with this critter.
All right, see if I can hit it this time.
I hear it still ring. I hear it still ringing. High wind. That's 3 pretty quick shots.
Yeah.
And high wind. Wind's a kicking.
Dead center. The other 2 pulled right.
Well, the wind started picking up when you fired them last 2 shots. Now look at that wind. I bet it's 30 mile an hour now.
It's crazy today. All right, well, let's get you down here and get 3 shots, see what happens.
All right,
Mr. Obvious. Pick a different spot there and get a group. We'll see how you do. It gets confusing out there, doesn't it? All right, go ahead and take you another shot.
Yeah, I helped the wrong dot. I hate these mill dots.
I like them.
Yeah, they're all right. All right, let's put the third one in there.
All right, freedom is ringing today. So I'll go down there and get the target, and we'll talk about it in our AAR. All right, Mr. Obvious. So we got the target, and we know which shots were which. So go ahead and point mine out first there.
All right, you hit here, here, and here.
Yep, kept walking it out.
Yep. So the wind had laid down, so you put one about dead center. We had the gun zeroed dead on. Then that wind kicked up about 20 miles an hour. Then it kicked up 25 to 30. So it kept walking over.
Well, and that could be me also, but I think it was the wind.
I think it mostly wind, or you'd have had a tighter group. So you're about 6 3/4 there on that one, and about 3 5/8 on that one. So you're under a minute there, but I think the wind got you here. In the wind.
It may be the wind. It could have been me.
Now, when I shot,
and these were your three.
Yeah, the wind stayed pretty consistent, but we don't know how it's jacking around going across that canyon.
Well, you can see the tops of the trees blowing from right to left down there, and here they were blowing left to right.
Yeah.
So we had a odd wind going.
Yeah, so here we got 3 3/4, so we're under a minute angle.
You're under a minute, yeah.
And here we got 2 1/4.
And also note, we were shooting 2 different loads.
Yeah.
And I was shooting with your nickel-plated loads, which I think were, I think they were all loaded the same.
They're all loaded the same. It's just different style brass. So
yeah.
But that's constant wind. But I had a more constant wind than you had. Yours, the wind when you were shooting is up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
And my wind stayed pretty much about a 18, 20 mile an hour crosswind.
Oh, all right. And we are back with our after action report. And what do we have to report today, Mr. Obvious?
Crazy high winds are going this way, that way, this way, that way.
Yeah, moving all around us. And, but in spite of that, we overcome, we persevere. We're American.
Yep.
We hit the target. It only took 6 shots off camera for us to figure out where the bullet was falling. Because the compensator that's in there, and I don't know, this is a Leopold Mark IV scope that we're using. And I don't know what the bullet drop compensator was set for. I'm not sure, but we were at 400 yards shooting considerably lower than we thought we would be shooting.
Yeah.
Plus the high wind situation, you kind of couldn't Kentucky windage it and compensate for the high wind because it was doing different things in each shot.
Yeah.
So that was actually the best grouping I think I could have gotten with the winds the way they were blowing. You did outstanding. Yeah.
Well, when I shot, the wind was pretty consistent. When you shot, the wind was like, it stopped and you hit dead center, then your next shot, it jumped back up to about 20 mile an hour, then it jumped up even higher on your third shot.
And you can even hear it blowing as we're sitting here speaking. It just picks up, slows down. And, for the benefit of y'all watching, I'm not going to sit here and wait for the perfect shot, every time. This is a real world scenario where we're trying to see if that buck was standing there at 400 yards. Would I have hit him? Yeah, I'd have hit him every time. And Mr. Obvious would have hit him better. So
we got him.
It shot great. Very nice rifle. Savage, you did an outstanding job with this rifle. I mean, is there anything you could say negative about it?
No, it's a great shooting gun.
It is a great shooting gun.
So.
And I always like to say pros and cons. Some things I really like about this. The bolt, and I'll show some pictures here. It's a nice beefy bolt. I like that. If you're out in the hunting woods or whatnot and you're wearing gloves, I like having a big beefy bolt.
Yeah.
The trigger. I love these triggers. These Accu triggers that they put in these.
Yeah.
Oh, savage. Just keep doing it. I love them. That really, if I was going to make a negative, and it's something I've said before about Savage firearms, The composite that they make the stock out of doesn't feel very plush, but you're also not paying $2,000 for this rifle.
Yeah.
You know, so they got to cut somewhere, and I guess that's where they did. It's not that it's a bad stock or anything. It's that it's just not as nice as some other ones out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. So at 400, we just help dead center of the target, show you that wind does drift you, so it drifts us over about 7-8 inches to the right.
Even with that heavier bullet.
Yeah, with the heavier bullet. So, yeah, so we just help dead center and just let the wind do its thing. The target is plenty wide enough to catch the bullet, so it's good stuff to see.
Yeah, and this is just an outstanding firearm. And again, while we were, you see the wind blowing.
Yeah.
While we were on camera there, Mr. Obvious missed one shot in between your shots there, and that was why.
No. I helped the wrong dot. About to blow the hat off my head here.
I've got a bigger head than he does. My head's dead. But yeah, you were just getting back into the sight picture, and
I helped,
that first big dot you saw is what you aimed with.
Yeah, yeah. I'm used to the Vortex scopes, and
yeah,
I like that EBR reticle, and the mill dot kind of messed me up. So
yeah, and you know that's something I like to show. I think it's a good benefit for us as well as you. When we're each week shooting with different scopes, we're shooting with different firearms. We both have a baseline. He's been shooting his whole life. I've been shooting my whole life. Military experience, all that. And it's good to see what jumping from platform to platform does to you. How quickly your training can unravel on you. And it is kind of funny because you pick up any AR platform, I get it in my hands, I shoot them all equally well. And it's just I've had so much relentless practice and training with it. With bolt actions, I tend to shoot them all a little different. I'm getting better since we've been doing these videos, because he has such a wide array of things to shoot. It's been real nice, but it's a good way to test yourself and to test your training and your fundamentals.
Yep. Just practice with what you got, and like I say, if you want to get real good, get one good gun and get good with it.
Yeah, beware the man with one rifle.
Yeah,
he probably knows how to use it. Yeah, and there is a lot of truth in that old wisdom. Owning all kinds of guns do not make you an expert.
Yeah,
it just means you like owning guns.
I tell you, I love this gun, but I tell you what, after we done that video on that hog hunter, I just love that gun. That's another Savage, and that gun, God, it shoots. It shoots with this thing here.
It does.
I shot a 2-inch group at 400 with that hog hunter.
And I believe it has a shorter barrel than this.
Yes, yeah, it's a 20-inch barrel.
Yeah, and that was an 18-inch, I think, on the hog gun.
No, it's 20-inch, I think.
Was it 20-inch?
Yeah.
And this is
24-inch barrel.
24-inch. So, yeah, it's shot equally as good at the range we're shooting.
Yeah.
At 400 yards, I think, that's something else I've noticed about the 308. Shooting like a 16.5-inch barrel, like in my Scout, I'm getting similar results out there with the same kind of rounds. With even factory ammo, a 308 at 400 shoots pretty good. And Savage is no exception. I think they do a lot of things right, and I really don't think they do much wrong. No. And their customer service is second to none too. Like you said, when you sent this in, because I guess I had a burr in the barrel, they told you.
Yeah.
And you sent it in, they took it and did a full breakdown of the gun. They even sent you a
target
with an explanation of what they did.
Yeah.
And the guy was stacking at 100 yards, I guess is where they shoot it. Probably, I would assume. But that's just outstanding.
Yep. There you go.
But anyway, I don't know what we've said. We both like the rifle. Let us know in the comment section what you thought about this Savage Model 10 Police. And let us know if there's anything else we left out that you'd like to know. Anything you want to add, Mr. Obvious?
Nope.
All right. And with that, everybody, remember, keep your knife sharp, keep your powder dry.
Subscribe to Last Minute Man.